All right, Shabbos, say good morning. Good morning. Let's begin. We're continuing Meretz Hashem in Us Beis in Tzidkas HaTzaddik. So remember again, in this particular section, the Rebbe was talking about the concept that the first step in Avodas Hashem is God awareness, is the ability to go ahead and perceive and feel that I am living in the presence of the Ribono Shel Olam. Once one has God awareness, that transforms his life and ultimately puts him on a trajectory to spiritual development. The Rebbe posited that the primary tool for the creation of God awareness is a bracha. That Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. The reason why Chazal instituted brachas was to create a sense of God awareness in our lives. So we're picking up on page Gimel on the right-hand paragraph, the right-hand paragraph, the end of the paragraph. He says, V'zeu, Kimo Shomer Chazal. Kimo Shomer Chazal is actually in the Be'erei Chasidus in the right-hand paragraph. 4 lines up from the end of the paragraph. Kimo Shomer Chazal es Hashir ba b'Birkas Hazimun mimasai mitzaref hakatan levarach. So he makes a very interesting observation. The Rebbe says that the Gemara has this discussion. From what age is a katan, a child, able to combine and participate in the mezumin? And what's the answer? The Gemara says, "Katan sheodeya lemim mevarchin mezamin alav." If a child knows who he's making the bracha to, right? Who is he talking about in the context of the bracha? Then he can be included ultimately in the mezumin. Rabbi said, this is very interesting. Rabbi Tzadok makes a fascinating observation. He says, "Mishum shem'eni yodeya shemevarchin la'Hashem yisbarach." Left-hand paragraph. If he doesn't know that the bracha is being made to Hashem, memela. In kol to alas ve'berchasam. I will say this is fascinating. If when making a bracha, you don't understand who you are conversing with, then the bracha is pointless. Now this is a fascinating dynamic that dafka exists by brachas. He says, Masha'in kain b'shar mitzvos. This concept doesn't apply to other mitzvos. It's only a bracha that we say that when is it impactful and meaningful? When you know who you're making the bracha to, or who you're making the bracha about. Now, just understand, he's using a halakhic principle. At what point in time can a child become part of a mezumin? At the time that the child knows who he's making the bracha to. So the HaTzaddik says, we don't find that by other mitzvahs. He says, Masha'inkin b'shar mitzvahs, ein ashir. Lo nasam m'chazal shir zeh. Shalo lo etzrichu chazal shiyeda hakata lami manichin tefillin kedei shiyuchal lahaniach tefillin. Ella rak hitzrichu shiyeda l'shmar al guf naki. It's very interesting, right? For tefillin. Right? We don't say that when is a child obligated in tefillin, when he knows who he's performing the mitzvah for. We don't say that. In fact, when is a child obligated in tefillin? The moment, or as soon as he's able to keep a clean body. Now, we pass it a little bit differently, right? Contemporary practice is that we don't really start having a child put on tefillin until he becomes obligated at bar mitzvah. Right, different minhagim a little bit before 30 days, 3 months, day of, bo bayom. But again, in general, but the real halacha is that a child, as soon as he's able to maintain a sense of personal hygiene, as soon as he's able to keep his body clean, then he's permitted to go ahead and begin wearing tefillin. So Tzaddik says, no one says, when should a child put on tefillin? At a time when he recognizes that his putting on of tefillin is a form of service to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? By no other mitzvah do you find this concept of cognition except for brachas. Right? You're only obligated to do a mitzvah when you know who you're doing the mitzvah for. No, not true. Tefillin, as soon as the child knows ultimately how to keep personal hygiene, keep a clean body, he's obligated in tefillin. Other mitzvahs, he becomes bar mitzvah, he's obligated. Yet, interestingly enough, by brachas, when is a katan able to participate in the mezumin? When he knows who he's making the bracha to. So Tzaddik says, so why is the bracha different? Tzaddik says, this is how we'll be talking about. Shemahos habracha ikara hu shetiya lemevarich hayedia lemi mevarchin. Shemekach hu mevates es hakaraso ba'Hashem yisbarach. Shememiyuchad al kach nosta habracha. Tzaddik says, because that's the point of a bracha. The point of a bracha is to create God awareness. That's the point of it. Therefore, If you don't have God awareness, then the bracha is not a bracha, which is really a fascinating idea. And the bracha is not a bracha if you don't have God awareness. Now again, we have to kind of remember, technically speaking, even if you don't have God awareness, you still have to make brachas, right? But HaTzaddik is trying to talk about like in the hashkafa of the mitzvah. Specifically, again, you look at this katan. When is the katan obligated to make the bracha? When he knows who he's making the bracha to. We don't find that by anyone. Just to contrast it, right? When is a katan obligated to make a bracha? When he knows who he's making the bracha to. When is a katan obligated to put on tefillin? When he can keep a clean body. Why? Why don't you say the same thing? When is a katan obligated to put on tefillin? When he knows who he's putting tefillin on for. But we don't say that. Why? Because this is a unique concept by brachas. Because as Rav Tzadok is positing, the entire essence of a bracha is to create this sense of God awareness. That's what a bracha does. It brings HaKadosh Baruch Hu into my life. So therefore the child who's not yet obligated in mitzvos, if he doesn't understand that when he makes a bracha, he's bringing God into his life, don't do it. Or in this case, don't be included in a mezuzah. That's different than tefillin. Tefillin has a different mohos. The essence of tefillin, look, one can make the argument that every mitzvah, the goal is to bring God into my life. But a bracha is in a more acute fashion. He goes on, he says, he says, Va'akara b'Hashem Yisbarach, zeh haschalas shel knisas ha'adam la'asagas hamidas haTorah. Now, I will say, this idea, and this I think is such a profound idea that so often it's just skipped over in the process of our spiritual development. Rav Tzadok says the first step in spiritual development is hakaras Hashem, is a recognition of an awareness of the Ribono Shel Olam. That I dwell within the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the Ribono Shel Olam is by my side every single moment. And he says, this is the true first step of entry into Torah. Moshe Ne'emar, Reishis Chachma Yiras Hashem. So look how the Rav Tzadok interprets this. He's Reishis Chachma Yiras Hashem, Shebetchilas Limud, HaChachma Shel Torah, Yashrish Ha'adam Belibo Yiras Hashem, the Yiras Shamayim Hu Ayirish Mekayma Adam. We'll say we'll stop over here today. We'll pick up with this next piece tomorrow. I don't want to run through it. But again, I will say, cultivating this same idea and such a nuanced concept. The first step in our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not something we do. It's not something we do. Interestingly enough, even though Judaism is such an actional religion, it's not something we do. It's something we think. It's an awareness. Shivisi Hashem Menegdi, someone HaKadosh Baruch Hu is before me at all times. We'll Hashem see how Rav Tzadok further develops it and hopefully finish the sif tomorrow. Shkoyach.